guys, Sakakarasu here for another game review featuring the anticipated game that just recently came out on Steam. And believe me, this isn't just your ordinary MOBA game. We are talking about mixing RTS and MOBA and creating a game that has a non-stop action with strategic warfares on the side. Brace yourselves as we take a closer look on Victory Command. To give us a little background, Victory Command is an action MOBA/RTS hybrid that was developed by Petroglyph and which was later then published by Playgrid Games on May 19th of this year. Probably the first combined strategy ever to come out in the game scene. It may also give you that command and conquer jitters, and at times it lets you reminisce the good old days of building your own command center, gathering resources, and mass-produce tanks and infantries. Furthermore, it doesn't really give you that exact experience, but it somehow adds two distinct games and turns it into an action-packed real-time strategy game, which is uncommon in most games nowadays. Let's move on with the companies. This will serve as your default teams to choose from before you start the game. You get 3 companies to start off. The Jack, which is identified as a medium tank. Second is the Dunmer, classified as a heavy MG recon. And lastly, Striker, which act as a rocket trooper. It's not much at first, but as you go along, you will unlock all 20 of them plus units when you gather enough points and gold in the battlefield. You can see that they include brief descriptions in each company profiles, just by clicking on their avatars. I'm surprised on how detailed and specific they are in adding flavor text and storylines behind it. I gotta say, thumbs up for the effort. At the picking phase, it's really up to you whether you would want to be a trooper or a tank, but always remember your strengths and your weaknesses in the battlefield. If you've chosen the Jack Company, which specializes on tanks, always take note of the description below the abilities, which is pretty much self-explanatory. Avoid enemy rockets, mortars, and stalkers. Same goes with the other companies. To simplify things, tanks can kill light tanks and recons. Recons can kill infantries, then infantries can kill tanks. Let's just say it's simple as playing rock, paper, scissors. Just a tip, if you're still confused on which enemy players you need to avoid in-game, steer clear of the red exclamation point just beside the player's name. They are your weakness. Let's move on for the perks and drones. You will encounter these choices on your picking phase. I'm playing as a tank here, and as you can see, my forces is pretty much limited right now. As for the perks, these are additional boosts for you and your team. You can either increase your unit speed or regenerate their health per second. Basically, there are only 4 loadouts in the game. Let's move over on choosing our desired drone. You have 5 drones all in all. These are all free, but you can only use 1. So make sure it complements your gameplay and to your allies. If you prefer camouflage for your drones, then Spy Drone is the best pick for you. It reveals an area around the map, the only drone that doesn't detonate but can be killed by enemy units if detected. Speed boost for your allies and slow for your enemies is your thing? Movement Drone offers that effect in the battlefield. It self-destructs and can be killed by enemy units too. The Anti-Vision Drone reduces vision of enemy units and drones, can be killed by infantries, and self-destruct. Negative and positive buffs for your allies and enemies, Perch Drone does that. Counter Drone gives out an aura which is damage over time on any units within range. If everything is all set, then you're ready to go. Let's move on with the abilities. These act like extra skills for you to use around the map. There are 23 abilities, and each of them can give you the advantage if used wisely in sudden clash and surprise ambush anywhere around the map. Ranging from heal, movement speed buff to immunity, or blocking damage from the enemy team. It really does play a big part in supporting your teammate or cause damage to the opponent, even if you're out of sight. Let's move over to the control. Controls are pretty much like in any MOBA or RDS games. Right-clicking will get you to point A to point B. Left-clicking will attack the targeted enemy unit. That is mostly the basic part. Let's talk more about controls and hotkeys, which will help you along the way. Since you're controlling 3 or more units, you will need to gather them all by dragging the left-click button to create a box around your unit. In this way, you can control them into one single group. But what if you just need to control half of them or just a single unit? You have the option to select, let's say, one unit, then by pressing Ctrl 1 or any numbers you would like to assign it, it will act as your group number 1. Gather another unit, then press Ctrl 2 to assign it as your group number 2. In this way, you can control 2 or more groups without any confusion. Just by pressing the number twice, it will direct you to the designated group without any hassle. Now, when attacking an enemy infantry and drones, right-click on an enemy unit. Make sure you lock it in just one target. By focusing far on a single target, it makes it easier to cause more damage. If you are unaware of your attack range, press the V button. Destroying one unit at a time will cause them a huge disadvantage in future team fights. Take note that there is a reload time, and you can monitor that just left. Just a quick tip. When playing as a tank, do not expose the rear end part, as it is vulnerable to enemy attack. Although, if you're holding Control button and right-clicking on your preferred location, you can still face the enemy up front and move backwards at the same time. This way, you can protect your tank while fleeing from an ambush. I have encountered several starting maps, and so far it compensates for the gameplay, but I heard they're still planning to add more soon, which is a good thing. I can say Victory Command is one of the most flexible and versatile map in any MOBAs I encountered. You can pretty much blend in with the environment and use it to your advantage. First off, there is the brush, which you can definitely use for ambush or to hide from enemy sight, which gives you a cover bonus. They stay hidden unless they are discovered by the enemy units such as recon vehicles or drones. Units that are inside the bush can scout enemy from the inside and can attack without any problem. A grass icon will indicate that you are in a bush, and a half-full shield shows that the unit is receiving cover bonus from the bush. High ground is also a big factor here. This can extend your line of sight. Whether you attack from the higher or lower ground, it will affect your attack range. Units on the higher ground may see and attack units from the lower ground. At times, units in the lower ground can see the units from above, but it may not have the ability to attack it, such as light tanks. Vantage points are located in higher grounds. It gives you a view, weapon, and detection range bonus. A binocular icon above the health bar will let you know that you're in a vantage point area. Heavy cover are areas that are made for infantries. They get 60% damage reduction in camouflage if they are placed in such locations. Indicators will come up like a shield with a star for the defense bonus and a half-shaded tang for the camouflage bonus. You could take it as an advantage to use it as a shortcut route, or for strategic purposes to capture victory regions. There are 3 victory regions in which there are colors based on who owns it. For white, it is neutral. Green means you own it. And red is for the enemy team. To obtain points, you must control one or more victory region than the enemy team. Victory regions are labeled A, B, and C. If you, however, is in the process of capturing a victory region, there will be a gold border growing around the box. Make sure you finish it until you see the box green and has a lock icon on it. Locked icon means it will be unavailable for the enemy team to capture at the moment, but it will unlock anytime soon. If the enemy team somehow steps in while it is being locked, it will switch to a neutral region. If they are driven off, then it will reset again to 0. Using fast vehicles like buggies or solo infantries are perfect in capturing these regions. Let's move on to the secondary objectives. Catching these structures are the same thing as the victory regions, like having the ability to lock down. Although not entirely the same, but it gives out effects which will greatly benefit the team all throughout the game. If you control a comlink, it will slow victory points being accrued by the enemy team. This is perfect if the enemy team is on the lead, thus giving you the time to strategize and keep up with your victory point. SpySat can reveal areas around the map. Even units that can be in any bush has no escape. Capturing the helipad will reduce the cooldown of the extraction ability. Makes it easier for you to use it more often to avoid surprise attacks or to heal your units. So, how do you win a match? Technically, you just have to capture one or more victory region for you to win the game. Capturing victory regions give you points as long as you control it. If the region gets captured by the enemy team, gaining points in that region will stop. The bar does not reset, so your points are safe. Just make sure that it keeps going until one of you reaches 250 points. Either you win by points or you annihilated all of the enemy team units. If in some case the timer reaches 0 from the 20-minute provided, the game will end in a draw. Moving on to the graphics and sounds. My first impression would be it definitely gives out that Command & Conquer aura. The graphics on the terrain is clean and identifiable. For an RTS game, everything should be straightforward. The trees, rocks, and brush gave that strategic feel without any confusing structures around it, all perfectly placed for strategic reasons. Units such as tanks, troopers, and buggies are also detailed just like in any RTS games, although mixing with other colors wouldn't hurt. But hey, it's still a work in progress, so we may have to watch out for upcoming changes in the future. For my overall experience, having the chance to play this one-of-a-kind strategy game is definitely worth it. Fusing MOBA and RTS in one game gives players a new perspective to introduce a new 5 vs 5 gaming experience. Combining strategy and warfare, it somehow relived that traditional RTS game, but with a twist to it. With more than just 3 lanes, it steps a bit further on what we imagine is just a standard map for MOBA games. Being able to blend in the environment and use it as a tool towards the game is a great factor. You are not limited with just your trusty items or units, but being able to outwit your opponents is the key to victory. Again, thank you for watching my review. This is Akira Karatsu signing out.